Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Ghoul here with What If Issei had Spiral Energy Part 7. Now, before I continue on, I know that you people are kind of wondering, wait, you're gonna do this again on the same day? On the same... What, is it the same? Wait. Technically, right now, it's 11 hours ago, so yeah, I'm going to do this again. Now, before I continue on, I could have done this a while ago. Not really. Fucking had to go back to work, dig up some holes. That was a pain in the ass. Thanks to the fact that there's a bunch of roots and it was annoying as fuck. But not the point. Also, couldn't do it after that because most of my annoying ass siblings were outside making noise again, like always. But not the point. But of course, that is not the point here and there. Let me begin into this what if. Also, I did kind of upload it. What's it called? Part 3. Or mostly another. What's it called? Chapter of what's it called? What if Issei was betrayed by the factions? And yeah, mostly on Webpad. If you have not seen it, or you haven't even thought of, I have a Webpad account, and I'm actually doing a fanfic. I forgot to even put that in the link entirely in mostly the video that I was talking about, but yeah. But yeah, I kind of just uploaded this a while ago, but yeah. Not this one. This one I just had to kind of do something, but just kind of put the music, kind of. I don't know, just upload random shit, but not the point. But yeah, I uploaded this like a while ago. Mostly Heaven's Demise Part 3, 2 out of 2. But yeah. But that is not the point here or there. Let me begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up. And yeah, other than that, let me begin. I should probably get some water before I actually. But we go into mostly the what if now. So let's begin into the what if and yeah. Now we go into mostly Issei kind of getting to his house. The song that I did mention last time that he was hearing is called Centuries. Made by, well, let me show you. So pretty much it's called Centuries, made by Fallout Boys. But yeah, some legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold. But you, no, I'm just kidding. But not the point here or there. Let me begin into the goddamn whatever. Sorry about that. Of course, mostly Issei gets to his house. He opens the door because the door's handle hasn't really changed or any of that. And when he gets to his house, well, he's already inside. He kind of goes upstairs, goes into his room, and starts, and I mean literally starts kind of, well, mostly unpacking some stuff, but of course, not fully. He still is going to be packing a lot of shit. But of course, he's going to look like he's not packing any of it. Now, he just got mostly all the important stuff in his room and put it somewhere nice so he can actually get it later, probably tomorrow, because today's Monday. Well, I mean, not today's Monday, but today's Sunday. Monday, he's going to school, then come back home, and of course after that on Tuesday he would go home and mostly after school on Tuesday and get his shit and then like leave. He doesn't care. He does not care, okay? But that's not the point here or there. We go into Issei kind of going on his bed and falling asleep finally. Well, not really finally. He hates this place, but of course, whatever. We go into mostly Issei just taking a nap, and yeah. Now, of course, well, he has to get up for his class, or mostly school, which he does. He gets up pretty early, and of course, well, he kind of just changes. He does take a shower and other things, and of course, well, he's actually going downstairs. He woke up not too early for, like, his dad to kind of catch him in the whole crossfire of him kind of, like, going to work and other things. So, of course, he just wanted to avoid his father entirely, and even his mother. But of course, well, he could not avoid his mother. His mother was actually pretty early. She woke up pretty early. Now, of course, when Issei was actually going downstairs, he saw his mother and his mother saw him. This is where, well, she had a very worried and angry looking expression. This is where, well, Issei decides to avoid her eye contact entirely. By just kind of walking downstairs, opening the door, and about to walk out. This is where, well, mostly Mika says, Issei, we need to talk. This is where, well, Issei said, I need to be going to school, Mom. Sorry, but I need to be going. This is where Mika says, Issei. Issei said, we can talk later. Issei says, fucking starts booking it down the whole street. But yeah, he needs to kind of avoid any subject or topic or whatever board crap and other things. He does have his phone charged and other things, he headphones and other shit that was important for him to kind of carry, wallet shit and other stuff. But yeah, but of course he starts kind of just running to Kuo. Not entirely going to Kuo. He actually went to a cafe just to buy a drink because it's pretty damn early in the morning. He didn't really eat or any of that. But of course, he just went to the cafe, got like a bagel, not a bagel, like a fucking donut, and of course also got like mostly also got like what's it called, a coffee. And yes, and I mean literally a coffee because it's early in the fucking morning, but not the point. Now he's going to need all that cafe, I mean not cafe, mostly all that coffee for what's going to happen at school. You realize here that Issei got a haircut. He kind of looks like Sanjin Woo from Solo Leveling, but of course with his brownish hair. But of course, well, he has a different hairstyle, and of course, he might look a little bit muscular because he was training with Benjimaru and even Joker, but not the point. So of course, he's not trying to get attention, but there's a good chance if he just walks through the gate, he's going to get too much attention. Which he hates it, but yeah. This will work well. He kind of just drinks a lot of coffee, and of course, to work well, he actually noticed someone actually entered the cafe again. And it's none other than the same girl that he saw on Friday. Mostly that time that he went to this cafe just because it was close and it was open at that time. Does it work well? He sees the same girl who actually has kind of, well, not blondish. Mostly she has blondish hair, like blondish orangey hair. Of course, she has kind of like these emeraldish green eyes, which Issei kind of likes the green eyes. He digs it. But of course, it worked well. Mostly, he noticed her again. Her name was Lexia something. Of course, where Issei can't fully remember her name entirely. But he just remembers Lexia because it was kind of yell out. Pretty loud, but not the point. This will work well. He sees her again, and she sees him again. Now, of course, it worked well. She noticed Issei's uniform. Issei also noticed her uniform. She was wearing the cool, mostly the cool of the girl uniform. While Issei was wearing the boys' uniform, the Kuo's boys' uniform. Uniform. And of course, he kind of just ignores her entirely and goes back on his phone just because fuck it. He doesn't really care. He doesn't really care about talking to any other girls because, well, he does remember Estef. Well, he started kind of remembering other girls like Estef, Junko, and even what's it called? So her name was Marinki, and of course, before I go on with this goddamn what if, outside my house, I was hearing this like weird kind of like roaring, screeching or whatever, and it scared the fuck out of me because right now it's kind of 12 in the morning. So of course I was confused. I was like, what the fuck is that noise? I should also turn on the lighter, fuck it. But that is not the point. I was just fucking confused. I was not going to go outside. I was like, fuck it. I don't know what the hell that is. It sounds some kind of like dog getting mauled on something. I have no clue. But I don't give a damn. If I hear it one more fucking time, I'm calling animal control out here. I don't give a damn. I'm calling the cops. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, I didn't know what the fuck that was. I didn't really care. So, of course, whatever that is, I have a katana. I'm going to use it against whatever the fuck that is. But that is not the point here or there. But yeah, sorry about that rambling on. But let me begin into this. Sorry, I'm rambling on. Not begin. Mostly go back into where I'm at. But of course, mostly Issei is right now kind of, well, and kind of thinking of mostly the other girls. Now, of course, well, he's going to have to get an excuse and why he hasn't been for the entire last week. And mostly, yeah, the entire week, the last whole week. Mostly, he did explain that he did have to go on Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday. But Friday was really no excuse for him just to literally ditch. Well, I mean, it was an excuse that he didn't really want to deal with people. But yeah, of course, that's not the point here or there. And does it work well? Mostly, Issei was kind of, well, just kind of didn't want to do any of that. But of course it worked well. He kind of looks up and sees the same girl actually sit into his actually table. Which Issei is confused and just looks at her with just a confused look until he just decides to just look back at his phone. This worked well. She then says hi. This worked well. She said it in a very cute kind of way. which Issei kind of thought it was kind of adorable, but yeah. So I want to, well, before I kind of go on with the what if, sorry about rambling on again, but I went onto my camera because I do have a Ring camera, and I decided to turn on that noise to check, well, mostly like the sound noise thing to check on if there's anything outside, and I still heard that little growl thing. Of course, it shut up after a while, but yeah, I don't know what the hell that is, but I'm literally thinking it's just a like hurt dog or something because it sounds like a hurt dog, but like a dog fighting at the same time. I don't know what it is, but I do not want to go out there. Fuck that shit because I don't give a damn. That and it's dark outside, and I am just like, yeah, no, the fuck, I am not going out there because I know there's spiders and other shit, and I fuck spiders. Fuck all that, but not the point. But of course, we go into mostly, sorry, back into the water. But we go into mostly Issei kind of, well, mostly seeing the girl, and of course, the girl is kind of just waving at him. Of course, well, Issei kind of just sighs, decides to put down his phone, even though he's still hearing music and other shit, because that's what he was kind of doing. But of course, reading manga at the same time. And this is where, well, Issei kind of notices her and just says, "Do you need something?" Issei said with a very calm and gentle voice, which made her kind of blush a little bit because she wasn't expecting this person to be kind of gentle or kind. She was kind of pestering this person to see if he would be nice or kind, which she wasn't actually thinking he would be because he is a male human, but she doesn't hate them at all. Unlike her kind of aunt, she considers to be, well, yeah. This is where, well, she kind of just looks at mostly Issei with a very curiously look, and this is where, well, Issei says, "What?" This is where, well, Issei kind of gets not annoyed, but he's just very confused, and why she just keep looking at him with a very confused look. Issei said, "Do you need some help?" This is where, well, she sighs and then shakes her head saying no. This is where, well, Issei says, "Then why are you looking at me like that?" This is where, well, she then says, "Have no reason." This is where, well, Issei says, "Really? No reason? Okay. Well, if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go towards mostly, well, I'm gonna go finish my coffee, eat my donut, and leave. If you're not actually going to order anything, I'm just gonna go." This is where, well, she kind of just nodded, kind of happily, and this is where Issa was kind of getting creeped out a little bit because there's no way in hell anyone's this too happy unless he's going to get murdered, which he is expecting to be jumped by a group of gangsters. Yes, he's that kind of, not that paranoid, but not too, what's it called, arrogant, or mostly kind of. So yeah, he was kind of hearing the song breaking down, and I'm a bit, mostly, by I Prevail. Of course, well, he hears the lyrics. I'm a little bit paranoid. I think I'm breaking down, but yeah, not the point. Of course, well, Issei kind of sighs. He just hurry up and eats his donut and also like drinks his coffee. Like he just gulps it all down. Kind of gets towards mostly the trash can, throws it in the trash can, and of course he noticed that well, he forgot that one of his earbuds was actually on the table. Before he was able to grab it, mostly the girl kind of decided to grab it to hear and what Issei was hearing. Which Issei got annoyed with that, and of course decided to just walk towards her, just so he can ask for his earbuds. But of course, well, she was kind of not listening entirely. But Issei kind of just taps her on the shoulder, which she got startled. And of course, well, Issei says, "Earbud, give me." This where, well, she nodded and said, "Sorry about that." This where, well, she gives back the earbud towards Issei, while Issei decides to start walking away. Now, of course, well, Issei decides to get to Koa after a while. After mostly, it kind of looks like it's almost late to kind of get there. But yeah, he just rushes towards school, and of course, where, well, he kind of goes to the entrance, but sees no one. No one in sight. Right now, being stealthy as fucking, just trying to get into, well, school. This is where, well, he did kind of go there kind of early, not late, so he doesn't need to bother seeing other people, but yeah. This is where, well, he then kind of just sneaks into Kuo silently until someone says halt there. This is where, well, he kind of looks at the person as none other than Sona, what's it called? Shatora, also known as Sona Sifri, because yes, he was told about, what's it called, mostly Sona's real name, by none other than Joker. This is where, well, Issei looks at what's it called, Sona, and this is where Issei says, "Yes, Kaichu." This is where Issei said. This is where Sona said, who are you?" Issei said, Issei Sano. This is where Issei literally is just going to go with the Sano name because he doesn't care too much. This is where, he just doesn't give a damn about the Hyoto name, and of course, it's really not his real name because fuck that whole name. But of course, the word, mostly Sona says, Issei Sano. Never heard of it. Are you sure you're not Issei Hyoto? This is where Issei says, I changed my name, my last name, so it's Issei Sano now. This is where, Sona sighs and says, why do you come back and giving me a headache? This is where, Issei says, well, at least I didn't give you a headache during school. I'm no longer, trying to be perverted if you are actually thinking about that. This is where Sona was actually shocked with the fact that Issei said he's no longer trying to be perverted, which she then kind of nodded dumbly. But this is where, Issei says, well, other than that, I'm gonna get to class just so people don't actually stare at me. This is where, Sona kind of already noticed Issei and his new look, and this is where, she actually blushes a little because he actually kind of looks much better than his messy kind of brown hair. He actually looks more stylish than normal. This is where, Issei says, other than that, bye. This is where, Issei walks past her, but of course, I should mention that Issei was, your boy Issei is wearing a perfume. Like this nice, like, not rich, perfume, but it's mostly like a good smelling perfume. Which when Sona smells it, she actually blushes because it actually smells quite good. Quite very good. To the point that she might have accidentally got turned on from the fact that, mostly Issei looks quite different. Very different, and his aura and personality is even different also. Was it where, she then kind of blushes and thinking that maybe her perverted fiance is no longer going to be a perverted fiance, but maybe just going to be a normal fiance. This is where, she then smiles, kind of giggling like a schoolgirl, which she is a schoolgirl, but this is where, she then smiles with a very seductive kind of look. But this is where, she then realized about 3 girls and maybe even 3 more girls that might have a crush on Issei. This is where, or probably are trying to just go out him. And this is where, she scoffs because it gets kind of annoying in her head. The girls that she's talking about is none other than Junko Nishima, Estef, and also what's it called, we'll see, Marion. This is where, she then thinks about mostly her friend Reyes, who's still trying to get out of that marriage, and then mostly like others. She then remembers mostly how Momo from her kind of like, well, not Momo, mostly like Catherine, even Moriyama probably has a crush on him, but yeah. This is where, she then kind of sighs and realizes that there's a lot of girls trying to go after her kind of like man, well, mostly her fiance. Well, it wasn't really, she hasn't really told him about the whole fiance thing, which she's actually seeing if he actually would change his perverted ways. If that happens, maybe she can even try to get him into her barrage. She did kind of remember hearing about Ria's problem, but of course she really doesn't want what's it called Issei to go into Ria's barrage, just to help her out with the marriage problem and other stuff. But yeah, if Issei has a powerful longitis like her gear, if he doesn't, then it's just kind of pointless to kind of go into that barrage. But of course, Sona only wants him just because, fiance, and of course, he looks quite good. But yeah, but that's not the point here or there. We go into mostly Issei getting to class, and right now sitting down, putting a hood over himself, and just like look like he's falling asleep, which he does. But that's not the point here or there. Which people kind of, when they're walking, they just see this and just ignore it entirely. But yeah. Now, every student managed to get there in less than an hour, even, was called Murahama Matsuda. Matsuda kind of was having a perverted grin, while Murahama looks like he was ready to learn. Like he was there ready to fucking learn. Not to be a pervert at any of that. While mostly everyone in the school is still shocked when Murahama's kind of transition from a perverted or a nerd to just a full-on nerd, or mostly just an engineer kind of nerd somewhat, which he just doesn't care about the girls' bodies no more. He just cares about really learning about mostly mathematics, science, kind of history, but mostly like robotic history and like engineering stuff. But yeah, also English and like Spanish and other shit, but not the point. This is where, well, he's pretty much going into a what's it called, a state of, well, not a state, mostly he just looks like he's concentrating to just learn and not deal with anyone else. But yeah, this is where, well, people are also wondering about Issei because mostly Issei hasn't been seen for 4 days. They all think that Issei might have just died or something. Now, of course, the teacher was calling out names, and of course, he does say Murahama and even Matsuda. This is where Matsuda still has a perverted grin, looking at the girls with lustful looks. Of course, he also looks at Estef, Junko, and even Merlian with lustful looks, which he just scoff at him. Now, of course, where, well, mostly Aika kind of just gets annoyed when Matsuda's kind of perverted, mostly just antics, because even though while his two friends are changing, in her opinion, mostly both Murahama and Issei has changed, but Matsuda has not changed at all. He's still a pervert. Does it work well? Everyone is kind of, mostly the teacher was about to just skip Issei's name because, well, he hasn't really been seen. Of course, he was excused for the accent, well, mostly not accents, mostly the absence. But this is where, well, he then kind of thinks that he wasn't there on Friday, which he either was not excused on that day or whatever. This is where, well, he just sighs and kind of was about to skip the name until Issei says, "Yo, what the fuck about me? What the fuck? What, were you thinking I was going to die somewhere, day, night, whatever? Just fucking put me down as I am here so I don't need to get a call by my parents and wondering why I wasn't here." This is where, well, mostly the teacher looks up and looks towards mostly behind Murahama and Matsuda. And this is where, well, Murahama already knew that this was Issei. He's not stupid like that. And of course, this is where, well, the teacher says, "Well, it's nice to see you, Hyoto." Issei scoffs and says, "What the fuck?" Right, I haven't really changed my name. Damn it. This is where, well, Issei scoffs and just says, "Fuck off with that Hyoto name. My name isn't Hyoto. My name is Issei Sano. Issei Sano Kumagawa." This is where, well, mostly, or Kurogawa. This is where, well, mostly the teacher says, "Well, that's not really a says in the, what's it called, in the, well, mostly enrollment thing. Unless you're just going to just spell out." This is where Issei scoffs and says, "Don't worry, I'll change my name later. Right now, I'm just going to tell you that for right now. So fuck off." This is where, well, the teacher says, "I don't really like your tone today." Issei says, "And I don't really like how the fuck, how the fuck you were about to just skip my, what's it called, name, you freaking bastard." This is where, well, mostly the teacher glares at Issei, but this is where Issei sends a murderous glaze at the, well, not glaze, mostly a murderous glare at the teacher, which the teacher shut up after a while. But yeah, every other guy is just shocked to believe this is Issei, and girls that are just looking at Issei for the first time after his kind of new look are kind of blushing. This is where, well, mostly Estef, Junko, and even earlier, when they see Issei's kind of new look, they already have a blood nose entirely. They have seen it before thanks to the fact that I could kind of like live stream record that on Messenger. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly when Aika sees this, she also has kind of a blood nose. And of course, when mostly Catherine and even what's it called, mostly Moriyama sees this, they have blood noses. But yeah, now of course is where the girls and the other kind of different girls that are not really important kind of just have hearts in their eyes, while guys kind of just scoff at Issei because he just looks like a playboy now. Well, kind of a playboy. He looks like a badass playboy, but yeah. But of course, this is where, well, we go into mostly Issei kind of, well, mostly just dealing with the teacher. But of course, this is where, well, everyone is just shocked in how Issei is acting different and less caring. But yeah, but we go into mostly a time skip of mostly a while of Issei just walking down the hallway with mostly Murahama. Murahama just kind of just reads his book while Issei is just walking. But before they kind of keep walking, mostly Matsuda is rushing behind them, and Matsuda was about to attack Issei. But this is where, well, Issei kind of just blocked him by just putting his foot right in front of him and literally just kicking Murahama, or not even Murahama, Matsuda pretty easily by pushing him down to the ground. This is where Issei is confused and saying, "What the hell is wrong with you?" This is where, well, Matsuda gets up and says, "You bastard! You betrayed both me and Murahama." This is where, well, Murahama says, "Leave me the fuck out of this. He did not betray me in any other random words. Whatever, bullcrap. This is where, well, Matsuda is glaring at Murahama saying, Murahama, what about perverted antics together? What about the whole last week? This is where, well, Murahama just glares at Matsuda and says, that whole last week you were nothing but just a fucking annoyment. Do you realize that you were just annoying me the whole time, trying to drag me into most of the Candle Girls, while most of the Candle Girls just chase you? Thank goodness they just chase you, and not me, because I was too busy in studying, jackass. This is where, well, mostly Matsuda glares at his friend, but this is where, well, Issei kind of just says, dude, can you stop being a pervert for like a whole fucking year or something? This is where, well, mostly Issei said, which is an annoying kind of look. This is where, well, Matsuda glares at Issei and says, you betray me, Issei. You betray my trust. Issei says, and how the hell did I do that? By changing. Issei said, you realized that we were going to change anyway. Literally, that's how humans evolve. I think that's how humans evolve. Don't they evolve like that, mostly Murahama? Murahama looks up and says, yeah, that's how fucking humans evolve. What the hell do you want me to do? Give you a whole fucking essay on how it fucking evolves? He says, no, but you can give it to Matsuda, because Matsuda seems to be stuck in the past. Fucking caveman style. This is where, mostly Matsuda glares at both, what's it called, Murahama and Issei. They both change entirely. Murahama just went from becoming a freaking nerd, but of course, actually quite smart in other things. And Issei is just completely different. His aura and mostly personality is quite different also. He doesn't even feel like the same person that he met a while ago. But of course, well, mostly, Matsuda glares at both of them and says, fine, do whatever, you jerks. I'll make my own friends, and then I'll make sure to make you to pay. Because, well, mostly Murahama looks up and says, what the fuck is this, some kind of fucking, DC bullcrap? What were you gonna fucking tell us? I'll get you next time, Perry the goddamn platypus. He says, I think that's on the show, what's it called, XD, in the American show XD, where, what was it called, Phineas and Ferb? This is where, well, mostly Murahama says, I think that's what it was called. I remember watching all of that until one stream go, because I was bored entirely. This is where, well, mostly Issei nods and says, yep, I'll get you next time, Perry the platypus. This is where, well, we'll see. Both of them were chuckling. This is where, well, we'll see Matsuda was glaring at them with such anger. And this is where he just goes, huh, whatever, screw both of you. This is where he walks away with this angry look. And this is where, well, Issei and even Murahama just looks at each other. And just kind of shakes it off. They don't really care. Whatever fucking Matsuda plans, Issei can easily defeat him with just what's it called, normal martial arts. Because Issei is quite strong in martial arts. He's been training for a while. And he didn't really forget any martial arts style that his actually older brother has actually taught him before, but not the point. But we go into mostly Issei kind of getting towards mostly the different classes that he needs to be the whole day. Now, of course, when he gets to lunchtime, lots of girls kind of goes up to him and trying to ask him out. Issei literally rejects them all. Yeah, he doesn't care. He really rejects them all. And of course, when he's just sitting by himself, mostly trying to sit by himself, Junko, Estef, and even Merle actually appear kind of just talking to him and why he looks kind of different. Even, what's it called, Aika, or not Aika, Aika doesn't actually get anywhere close to Issei. She just kind of looks from a far away stance, while Moriyama and Catherine does the same. This is where, well, Catherine blushes because mostly, well, she's going to see Issei lots of times in the store, which she can't wait to do that. In which mostly her little brother does kind of go up to Issei and does call him older brother Nissan, so of course she doesn't really mind seeing him in the store. Moriyama won't get to see Issei that often because he's always near those three girls entirely, which kind of makes her kind of jealous and annoyed, but yeah. But that is not the only point, or not the only, what's it called? Well, mostly, they are not the only girls that are actually kind of appeared. Mostly that aren't just kind of new students. There's actually more new students that are appearing, either guy or girl, to this school, which kind of confuses the call Moriyama, Catherine, even Aika. But of course, well, they're not actually friends with SF, Junko, or even with the call. Well, see, Maria. And I've been friends with Issei. because Issei doesn't know them entirely, but they actually did walk up to Issei's group and started talking, mostly even though Issei never met them. A girl with kind of mostly blackish hair. Now, of course, she does have reddish eyes, and this is where, well, Issei for some reason gets a murderous vibe around her, mostly like a yandere vibe, similar to that of Junko's vibe, but this is where, well, when both Junko and even this girl kind of like looked at each other, they narrowed their eyes, but of course decided not to talk or say anything. Which Issei notices real quick, but he didn't really say anything out of care in the world. Of course, he saw the other girl, and the other girl was basically a girl with kind of greenish hair, and of course, having greenish eyes. She kind of looks quite built, and of course, she wears a school uniform, the female school uniform, and she is quite, well, has quite good assets, and even the other girl. Now, of course, they don't actually are friends, or not really friends, but they were in the same class, which they only talk to each other because, well, thanks to their kind of first name being similar the same, but not their last name, but yeah. This is where, well, which Issei can understand is one is named Maki Z, well, mostly Maki, and the other one is also Maki. Which actually reminds him of, what's it called, his friend from Mosi, from the place that he usually kind of trains with the Adola burst, but yeah, he remembers, well, Maki also, that other person that he kind of calls that she was cute and other things. Her name was Maki. And this is where, well, Issei now thinks that every Maki, mostly every girl that's named Maki, is kind of physically well built and, of course, has nice assets. Even though he's not a pervert, he would just admit that because, well, yeah. Because the other girl that's actually named Maki, her name is Maki, so it's Maki O's that Issei is talking about, the girl with kind of blackish hair and purplish eyes. Mostly that she's able to have a second generation flame. This is where, well, mostly a second generation Adola burst or whatever. And this is where, well, he then talks to the other two girls. One is the greenish hair, her name is Maki Zenin. The other one is named Maki Horikyu. And this is where, well, mostly Issei kind of gets a vibe that they're strong, powerful women. Which he also gets a vibe from that from mostly Esdif, but of course also someone from Junko and even Miria. Or Miria kind of just acts somewhat like a cosplayer, but yeah. But of course, where, well, Issei is just kind of like not trying to deal with this, but yeah. Issei kind of just sighs. He gets up and decides to kind of tell the girl that he's actually going to go kind of like throw away his trash and probably just go walk around, but yeah. And that's where, well, mostly all three girls kind of stand up in an instant just to follow Issei, which Issei sighs, but decides to kind of just let that happen. What is he going to do? Kind of just refuse their company, but whatever. Issei was about to just start leaving. Even the other two girls were kind of surprised that the three girls follow Issei, like if they were lost puppies, but they're not. Of course, they just decide to do the same by following Issei, which Issei doesn't really care too much, and of course he just walks around. But yeah, of course the well class actually started for next hour being fifth hour, but of course Issei is just thinking to ditch that hour. But yeah, he doesn't want to be chased down by Masuda again. But yeah. But we go into mostly a time skip of mostly the day being over, and of course going into mostly Issei getting to his house. Now of course where when Issei gets to his house, he sees none other than his mother waiting for him. This is where when Issei walks in, this is where his mother says, "Where have you been, young man?" He says, "School." This is where, well, Maki, well, not Maki, mostly Mika says, "No, I'm talking about where have you been the whole week? Last week." Wait, Mora, how much? Just studying? Oh, really? Studying? What have you been studying? An exam just coming up this, what's it called? Like, mostly month. This is where, well, mostly Mika nodded and says, "Okay. So you haven't really went out with any girls?" He says, "Not really. I don't really care too much, but yeah." This is where Mika nodded and says, "Okay. Well, have you seen anything supernatural?" This is where she kind of questioned Issei, and Issei looks at her in her eyes and says, what? I mean, I did watch that wind show that was supernatural, but what the hell are you talking about? Are you talking about like Ghost Rider? Is Ghost Rider a thing? Wait, not the point. What are you even talking about, Mom? Did you take your pills or something? Doesn't work well. Mostly Mika and her eyes doesn't work well. She then softens them and says, "Oh no, maybe I did. I can't remember." This is where he said not, and decides to just says, "Well, I'm gonna go upstairs then." This is where Mika had a small little grin, thinking that mostly Issei doesn't know about the supernatural, which she seems to has a suspicion that she, well, mostly herself, she does know about the supernatural. But yeah, but this is where Issei kind of gets annoyed, thinking that she has something to do with the seals that he has on his body. Well, he doesn't care. Issei starts packing up the last bit of things that he actually wants to take with him so he can move with his brother. But yeah, the next day happens, and of course, where Issei is actually getting towards school. The school kind of just went almost the exact same day like yesterday, but mostly when Issei gets out of school, he's actually walking to his house. But before doing that, he kind of bumps into a girl with kind of, well, mostly blondish hair. That being a blondish orangey hairstyle, or not blondish orangey hairstyle. Mostly, she does have a kind of blondish orangey hair, but of course she has kind of purplish eyes, like these darkish purplish eyes, but it's at the same time lightish. And her name is Irina. She or whatever her last name is. But yeah, this is where she was confused, but this is where Issei just says sorry, but I don't need to be going. Which Issei just walks away from her and getting towards his like house. Of course, getting a call from his brother, being what's called Mikey this time instead of Izana. But of course, Issei answered the call, and this is where, Mikey says, you can always move in now. Issei says, where's the address? This is where Mikey sends him the address, and this is where Issei says, got it. Issei runs to his house, opens the door. He doesn't care. Well, he opens the door, and of course runs upstairs. Of course, he forgets to close the door, but this is where his father had to close the door. Of course, there was actually three people kind of in the living room when they were actually startled up from the fact that Issei just opens the door, run in, and kind of rushed to his room. But yeah, which mostly Goto was confused, and this is where Mika kind of just looks even more confused at her husband. But yeah, and this is where there's a dark hair kind of female with mostly dark hair, and of course mostly lightish, well, it's not lightish, palish skin. It's kind of palish skin, but she does have black onyx eyes. This is where she was startled and confused. Of course, this is where Issei comes back down with mostly some packages, like some bags and some other things. Or that kind of female wasn't there. No, 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 no. Mostly it was just mostly Goto and Mika. But this is where Issei goes downstairs, and of course, mostly Goto says, "Where are you going, Issei?" Issei says, "Oh, I'm moving out." This is where, Issei said, with an hesitation beat. He literally said that he's moving out, which startled both Goto and even Mika in an instant. This is where, Goto says, "What are you talking about?" Issei says, "I'm moving out. I'm going to go live with my brothers." This is where Goto says, "You don't have brothers." "No, well, I do. You see here, you bastard neglected me for a while. When I was 11 years old. And I guess you don't remember that one time that I just ran away from house and didn't come back until like 3 years after I was technically found. But really, I wasn't that found, whatever, bullcrap. But yeah, mostly 3 years I met with some people that I considered to be my family, my true family. So I'm going to go move out with my brothers right now, because they actually came to Kowa instead of living at Shiba City, Tokyo Shiba City. Well, then bye. This is where, Issei opens the door, closes it in an instant behind him, and before he even kind of gets out, this is where Issei says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm changing my name, mostly, instead of being called Issei Hiro, my name is Issei Sano Kuragawa. So other than that, never call me Hiro, never ask to kind of call me son or any of that, because I'm not your biological son. I do not care if we have the same DNA. I am not your son." So then by saying yeah. This is where, Issei kind of just walks away. But yeah, once he starts running and jogging towards the house that he's actually having to go to. But yeah, he's smiling with such a big grin until mostly we go into Goto and Mika's faces. They're nothing but saddened, very saddened and depressed looks. This is where they weren't expecting their son to literally kind of tell the fact that they neglected him, which it wasn't entirely kind of true, but false at the same time. This is where, the fact that Issei made his own family with some other people that he was around 11 and then came already gone, long gone. He probably already ran. Does it work well? Mostly Issei gets to the house, and of course it worked well. Mostly Zana and even Mike kind of hugs him in an instant when they see him, and of course just are happy to see him again. Does it work well? Issei went into his own room and started unpacking, and of course starting to fall down asleep on the bed. But yeah, he smiled with such a happy, goofy grin. But yeah, the next day happens, but Issei didn't go to school, but went towards the what's it called, like somewhere to change his name legally. But yeah, and even have a fake ID, but not the point. It kind of looks real, but at the same time it's kind of fake, but not the point. Issei kind of sorry about that. So Issei wants to just change his name fully towards Issei Sano Kurogawa, but other than that, I'm thinking of leaving it off here for kind of part 7 because I feel kind of tired. I wanted to get to the part of someone dying, but I couldn't. Other than that, bye soon, yeah. Sorry about that, but yeah, I'm going.